Hi everyone, it's Jenny with Joey and Jenny's Little Yellow House. Again, you can find us on YouTube and Instagram at Joey143Jenny, and you can also find us on Facebook at Joey and Jenny's Little Yellow House. All right, so I'm back, and we're ready to finish off this little pillow. Just a recap of what we did. I sewed together the strips of fabric with a little bit of white in between. I'll show you that here in just a second. We turned under our short end of the envelope pillowcase, 1/4 of an inch, and then about an inch over that, and pressed and top stitched. Okay. And then I wanted to put a decorative stitch on the part of the envelope pillowcase that you can see on the back. And so I turned under 1/4 of an inch, and then I turned under 3 inches, and I sewed that, and then I ironed it. And then I did just this little decorative stitch. My little sewing machine doesn't have very many stitches, but I like this little one. I think it's sweet. So then I started thinking about it, and after I had sewn this together, and I thought, hey, why don't I put that little stitch down all of the, the whites. I had initially thought about putting lace and rickrack, but I want my granddaughter to be able to lay on this if she wants to, take it in the car or whatever. And since it's a pillowcase, it can be removed and laundered. So I thought that added just a little bit of sweetness to that as well. All right, so a new development. I ordered 12 by 20 pillows, but in actuality, they're 19, or let's see, 12 by 19. Where's my sheet? Excuse me for the reach, right in front of you there. So my pillow is not 12 by 20, it's 12 by 19. And so I'm going to take down the front to 20 inches, and then I'll just adjust the back, accordingly. So what I'm going to do is, reach over here and grab a pencil. Okay. I am just going to measure from the middle. I folded it exactly in half-ish. And so what I'm going to do is measure 10 inches. And I'll cut it at 10 inches. This just allows me a 1-inch seam allowance. Now, I don't necessarily need a 1-inch seam allowance, but it does allow you some give. So I'm just doing this real light here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other side because I prefer to cut this in a single layer versus a double layer, just because I'm not using a rotary and pressing it down. So I'm just going to use my pinking shears. So, okay. All right. So basically, if you're not piecing together your fabric, if you're just going to use, just a regular fabric top, which is totally fine, or use the same fabric for the whole thing, you would just use your regular measurements. You wouldn't need to, make the front and the back necessarily. You could actually use one running piece of fabric. I'm going to have to hold this up to see what I'm doing here to cut that off. But you could use one running piece, and let me show you what that would look like here in a sec. Almost through this one. Okay. And I'll keep that. Okay, let's say this is just one big piece of fabric, okay? And you weren't piecing it together. You just wanted to make an envelope, pillowcase, let's say maybe for a throw on your sofa or something, or maybe on your bed. So you would just take one long piece of fabric and, you know, you would fold it over like that. So this would be, you know, your wider hem. This one would be your tiny hem. You know, it's already, let's say it's sewn already. And so you would just fold it over like that. See? So you wouldn't have to have a front and back. But I wanted to have a different front and back, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Plus, as you know, I'm crazy about saving my Cathe Holden fabric. So the good thing about this is if my granddaughter wants more, I do have more scraps, and I can make her another one if she wants it. She does have a little love seat in her room, and so if she wants that, we could do that too. Okay. All right, so now piecing together. First, we're going to put the right sides together. So I have this right side up. This is the right side of my wide hemmed one, the 3-inch one that I did. So I'm going to put that down first. Okay, corner to corner. And then I'm going to lay this hem over it. Again, right sides together. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pin it in place. And then, well, if I can get my pin cushion out, I'm going to pin it in place. Just here and there, because I'll be able to kind of, you know, guide it and keep it together. But I do like to kind of keep the corners straight. I need to trim some of these threads. And then plus, since I have so many pieced together, I also like to make sure that the seams on all of the other ones are laying flat. I don't want to sew over them and make them bunchy. If I did that, the pillow just wouldn't look as nice and it wouldn't be as comfortable. So typically if I've pieced, I'll go ahead and I will pin those down as well. And if you recall from the first video, I press the seam towards the darker part fabric. Okay, it's coming along. So yeah, I had to end that soon, that video quicker than I had wanted. I wanted to do a little bit of sewing and then come back, but as I had told you, I had put earlier today, I had put some things on Marketplace, and just not a bunch going on. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if people were getting off work or what, but I was getting pinged, you know, messaged so many times that I was afraid it was going to interfere with, you know, the video. So I went and took care of that, met people. Now, is that crooked or is that just me? Nope, it's crooked. All right. What did I go wrong here? So anyways, yeah, I took care of that and then fixed dinner. And then here we are back, and we're going to get this done today. We are going to get this done. Sorry, I knocked you again. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get this corner so I don't keep pulling that away. Now this should be, what's going on here? This should be straight, unless I cut it not straight. All right. What's going on? Put this one down. And I'll put this one down. Let's see if we can, if you hear that little clicking, that's my iron heating up. Okay, that should work better. All right. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's nice to make sure that you have it all, you know, even and all, so that the finished product looks nice. I say that, we'll see what happens. So, okay. I don't know, do they still offer like sewing classes in school? I used to love sewing in school. You know, once you learn how to sew, even if it's just using on your junk journal, you know, sewing around one of your cards or something, it just creates inspiration to sew other things, and you just come up with, you know, your own plans and your own patterns. And I have so many patterns I've created, and I keep a file over here under a table of my patterns. And when I had a store, I sewed a lot of my things and sold them in my store. And so I just love it. It's fun. Okay, let's make sure everything is straight. I can see where this is a little bit longer here, but that'll get it all nice and trimmed off. Okay. All right. Well, Joey's second day today, and he had another successful day. He's really enjoying his time back at work and his new job, which is quite the blessing. We're very, very thankful for that. Now, what is going on here? I feel like I didn't cut that straight enough. Okay, well, I'm going to get this pinned, and then I think what I'll do is go ahead and put it on pause, sew it, and then I'll come back. Now, when you sew this, you know, you don't have to leave a hole to stuff anything, because we have a pillow we're going to insert. And you don't have to worry about necessarily where you start, because we're gonna flip it through this little panel here. So that'll be really nice. So basically, you're just gonna zip all the way around, and then I'm gonna cut it down with the pinking shears, and then I will be right back, and we'll turn it inside out, and we'll make sure the corners are nice, and she'll be done. She'll be done. All right, hold on tight, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I've sewn all the way around, and I pinked the edges, and now all I need to do is just trim the corners just a little bit like that. Just nip that corner off a little bit, not getting it too close, because I don't want all that bulk, but I also want to leave enough so that that seam doesn't come through. Okay. Set that over there. I'm going to shake this real quick. Got a few little sprigs on it. Okay. Let's give it a try. So I'm going to I hope it all works out. So I'm just going to put my thumb in here. If you've never sewn before or turned anything, I'm going to put my thumb in here like this and my finger on here. And then I'm just going to poke that corner nice like that. And this fabric is so, you know, it's pretty thin fabric. It's just a cotton quilting type of fabric, so those come out pretty good. You could also, I'll take a chopstick. I don't like to use anything too pokey, so do that, poke that through, that. Poke it through, and then just turn it inside out. We have the nice back here. That nice overlay back, and then there's our front. So it turned out pretty good. Now what I'm going to do before I put the pillow in is I want to pull those seams out a little bit. So I'm just going to bring over my wool mat. And I have my big iron here today. Oops. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this side seam out flat like that, trying not to lay it on any fabric behind it. So like it's not exactly even, because I don't want the seam here and the seam on the other side to hit while I'm pressing this. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to just kind of make sure everything underneath of it is nice and flat. I'm going to try to avoid getting here so I don't put a big seam down the middle of my pillow. I just want to crisp up that side seam a little bit here. These make wonderful little toddler pillows. Can you just see how sweet that could find a sweet fabric, you know, for a child, how sweet that would be. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Do the other side. Make sure everything underneath is nice and flat. Okay. I feel like there's something bunching here. Now, if I was on my ironing board, I'd just probably, you know, just move this around, but it's just as easy to do it that way on, you know, this little one. Okay, now this top one, the same way-ish. Make sure nothing's laying underneath it. This one's a little trickier because I'm just going to use the tip of my iron because I don't want to crease the rest of the pillow. So that you can see how that crisps it up, and then we'll go over it flat here in a second. But I want to make sure we pull that seam out before we go over it flat. And this ironing it this way really helps that. Okay. All right. Okay, so now that's all the seams have been pulled out, so now it makes it easier to go around and make it very crisp. Just fold that seam out like that. It's already nice and crispy. And then I can just give it a little press there. Might just take this and just square that out a little bit more. There we go. Okay, you know, I am loving the longer days. We got done with dinner and it was still sunny out. I mean, like sunny, like what used to be noon now is, you know, later in the evening. I love it. And, you know, there will be a time where it's going to be 9 o'clock and the sun will still be out. See how by pressing that first, pressing that seam kind of open, it makes this seam, when you do it, when you lay it flat like this and you roll that seam back, it makes it lay so much nicer. Excuse me. Anyways, yeah, I could even see us going for a little walk. But I think Joey, after dinner, I think he went out to work on something. Let's see what he's up to. I'm glad I remeasured that pillow, or not remeasured, measured, and didn't go off of the measurements from what I bought. I mean, I'd rather it be too loose than too tight, I guess, but I did want it to be kind of snug, and I hope I've accommodated enough for it to be, you know, nice and snug, but not too snug. We will see. All right. Let me do it this way. All right, come here, pillow. Let me put my iron on the other side of me so I don't burn myself. Okay. I'm gonna flip it back like that, and I'm gonna put the short side in first. I think that's the way I'm gonna do it. Can I do this on a video? Can I, without putting it under my chin and holding it down? We'll see. And then one other thing I like to do is I like to grab the actual point of the pillow and put it inside the point of the pillowcase. So there's one. It helps it from rolling around. And there's two. Okay. Oh, I put the big side in. I meant to put the little side in. I must have twisted it. Come on, little pillow. All right, very good. All right, let's find the corner. Where is it? There's one corner. Oh, here it is. Excuse me, it got bent down. All right, let's put that up in there. This isn't really this fiddly, but being on a bar, you know, kind of like I'm at. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. Oh my. Okay, smooth that out, smooth that out. And I didn't even bring, I usually bring in a glass of water, but I didn't even bring a glass of water. Now, I'm going to iron this on here. A little pressy press from where I have ruffled it. So that when I give it, it's nice and crisp. Pardon me. All right. And there she is. Super cute. Give it a little bit of a pressing. Let's see if I can bring it up a little bit. You can see it. There it is. That's what we made. Now, if I hadn't stopped the video all that time, it probably would have taken us, pressing and all, changing out the bobbin and all, probably a good hour to make it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it turned out cute. I think it's going to match or coordinate really well with my granddaughter's bedding. All right, well, let me know what you think. Let me know if you try one. I'm going to make a couple of more for occasional ones. And so let me know if you'd like me to do another video. And I'll try to be a little bit more, what's the word? Instructive, if need be. So just let me know. And otherwise, I'll just show you what I make if I don't hear back from y'all. So I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, we pray blessings over each one of you. We truly do. And you're so loved. So we'll see you next time. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.